Across to Atul Jain. He's a lawyer. Let's try and understand from him, what happens now. Mr. Jain, good evening. This has been a day of fast changing and big political developments. The court has reserved its order now. When do you expect this? How much time would it take? What happens next?
See, generally the court timings, they are till 4:30 in the district courts. But I believe since this is such a matter of huge importance, and all the agencies and right from the Supreme Court and every court is seized of the matter since yesterday in one form or the another, I believe that court will only rise after pronouncing the order in this respect of the judicial custody that has been sought by ED. So yesterday, if we see the chain of events, first of all, the Honorable High Court of Delhi, it called for files from the Rouse Avenue Court. The files were evaluated in the chambers. The High Court was absolutely clear that the ED has to show some evidence at least where there is a prima facie evidence where Mr. Kejriwal is seen to be indicted. It is not a trial. The application that was listed before the Honorable High Court yesterday was not regarding the conviction or the acquittal. It was simply to see what kind of evidence does ED have, or whether ED is entitled to have the custody and go ahead with the procedure that it was wanting. After going through the files, the Honorable High Court was of the view that the protection cannot be granted to Mr. Kejriwal. In the evening, we all know ED was at his residence, official residence, and after around 2 hours of questioning, he was arrested. Yeah. We all were watching this and following this series of incidents. I was told that the registry has been approached. The registry of the Honorable Supreme Court was approached at late night around 1 o'clock. The permission was granted in the morning. The petition was also filed. However, the Honorable Supreme Court was not too impressed, I am told, and therefore the lawyers for Mr. Kejriwal, they have withdrawn the petition finally. And finally, he has been produced before the PMLA court.
And that, of course, Mr. Jain, also came after K. Kavita's plea was rejected by the court. So clearly, some sort of idea perhaps that they got that, she herself has not been given that relief. And perhaps they should also come through lower courts. But today, what all happened in the court, what transpired at the Rouse Avenue court, the ED making some very serious charges against Arvind Kejriwal, to which Abhishek Manu Singhvi, the counsel for Arvind Kejriwal, saying that how can you go just on the statements of the approvers in this case, and that you haven't been able to establish a concrete money trail or evidence in this case. How much of that argument would actually, work in favor of Arvind Kejriwal?
See, this is not an isolated offense that Mr. Kejriwal is indicted for, right? This is an offense of the excise scam that is there in the media, there in front of the ED for last some time. And ED is connecting the points. And the recent point that led to the arrest of Mr. Kejriwal is the statement of Ms. Kavita. And the statements I've got to see from your medium, from other media sources, that there are statements of certain MLAs that yes, money has come. So if those kind of statements are true, and the case that was set up by ED, that the money that was received in the excise crime was sent through Hawala for Goa elections. So if these kind of allegations are there, the points, they are being connected. Manish Sisodia was also arrested, and the court was of the firm view that yes, he seems to be the architect of the excise scam. So all the dots, they are being connected, and what I said in the beginning, I'll repeat it. We are not conducting the trial today. It is about arrest and the custody only as of date. Mr. Manu Singhvi is one of the finest lawyers that India has produced, and obviously his job is to defend his client, as every one of us does. But then we have to understand that it is not ED versus EC. I mean, to put it like that, it is not ED is going against Election Commission, or if there is no precedent in India's history that no sitting CM has ever been arrested, then this cannot be one of the case. I don't go by that agreement. I'm sorry. See, whatever has not happened.
Okay, can I also then ask? The fact that Arvind Kejriwal and other AAP leaders have insisted on the fact that he will not resign as the Chief Minister of Delhi, and he will continue to operate as the Chief Minister if he's sent to jail. Correct me if I'm wrong, there is no provision that bars a chief minister from operating from within the jail. But how much of that, legally is possible and logistically is possible for a chief minister to actually have that provision of operating from within the jail?
See, I would say that probably to my whatever little legal acumen that I have, I do not see any legal bar from him operating from the jail. But then it is unethical to say the least. It may not be illegal, but on the moral grounds, if you have been so highly pressed into the charges have been pressed against you, and you have been arrested, if at all the custody is also given today, the remand is also allowed, then on moral grounds, on ethical grounds, you should not continue as a chief minister. Have faith in your subordinates, have faith in your colleagues from the party. Is this, I mean, it may be logistically possible. Maybe the entire machinery will go to him. That may be possible, but it is not about logistics, it is not about law, it is about morals. A CM should not be running the government from the jail, inside the jail. That is, I mean, that would be unethical.
Okay. All right, we'll have to see how it really